All right, dude. I love it when we get to have these segments. It's the Pennsylvania news of the week. Okay. And honestly, our prerequisite for Pennsylvania news of the week has now gone up in 2024. Because you know what? It's TMZ, baby. Okay. How for you know, it's a killer awesome story when TMZ covers some central, maybe a little further east, than central Pennsylvania news. You know what I mean? When TMZ picks up a Pennsylvania story, you know it's got to be a juicy one. So the Pennsylvania news of the week. Listen, we're not talking about, like an ABC 27 Facebook article that's 4 days old already, because that's how long it takes them to get the news and then post it on social. I'm talking Britney Spears gets kicked out of the hotel because she was topless in the swimming pool. TMZ type of story. Okay, we're back. It's TMZ, baby. So listen, Pennsylvania TMZ story. Where is my TMZ story? Pennsylvania murder. Oh boy, great. Finally. Hopefully this is a perfect story and a good enough reason for Megs to actually listen to my podcast, because she doesn't. But you know what podcast she does listen to? The serial murder, crime junkie, whatever Wondery app that she pays $5 a month for, so she gets the episodes early so she knows who did it before everyone else did. Every girl on the planet loves it. So here we go. Murder mystery, Pennsylvania murder. Dun, dun, dun. Man kills neighbor over snoring. Love it. Charged with murder. Charged. Damn it. You know, dude, listen, I mean, just based on the title alone, it makes sense, okay? Listen, does Megs sleep in another bed in another bedroom in our house from time to time? Yes. Why? Because I snore and it wakes her up. And so instead of sacrificing her sleep and not getting a good night's sleep, she goes to the other bedroom. It's fine. We have a spare bedroom. There's a bed in there. She sleeps on it. We're not getting intimate from 1 a.m. to freaking, whenever we wake up the next morning. It's going to be okay. We'll see each other in the morning, kiss, do whatever we need to do. We still love each other. It's okay. I think there was a celebrity that was just in the news that was like normalized sleeping in separate beds as married couples. It's fine, dude. It doesn't happen all the time. We wake up in the same bed all the time. Like, it's fine. But like sometimes because I'm snoring or whatever else happens, she goes to the other bedroom. So the whole thing, I get it. She's wanted to, stab me a few times. A Pennsylvania man is dead because his loud snoring kept waking up his fed up neighbor who stabbed him to death to get him to stop. It's one way. That's one way to do it. Honestly, that's one way to do it. I mean, there's like the strips, there's pillows, there's like sleep apnea machines, medication. You could try like soundproofing your trailer. You could do like whatever. There's a magnitude of things that you could do to prevent yourself from hearing your next door neighbor snoring. But in that list, I'm pretty sure halfway down, stabbed to death is definitely an option. And I get like if you tried like 1 through 47 and then number 48 was stab your neighbor to get them to stop snoring and then it worked. Well, fuck, hey, then you don't got to do the rest of the list, whatever. The bizarre real-life tale began last Saturday evening in Upper Moreland Township. That's just right outside of Philadelphia, King of Prussia area, where police responded to the home of Christopher Casey after receiving a 911 call from him to report a stabbing. Isn't he an adorable man? Ladies, you can write him in prison. let's make Christopher Casey our next Gypsy Rose. Okay. When Christopher Casey gets out, because listen, he's not going to get a good night's sleep in jail. It's just rowdy. It's loud. There's people yelling, people getting attacked. Like there's also guards banging on stuff, like running their sticks across the bars. Like you don't get sleep in jail. You know what I mean? Like it's probably loud in there. So, or maybe not. I don't know. Let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have to tell you to. You're going to do it anyways, you cuties. But listen, so when Christopher Casey gets out of jail, let's spin up the whole Gypsy Rose campaign. Let's get him a Lifetime documentary. Let's get him a book deal. Let's maybe get him you know what? Let's not do Lifetime. Let's let Gypsy have Lifetime. Let's do this guy. Christopher Casey looks like the next Making a Murderer, Tiger King. Like, you know what I mean? That 3-year renaissance. Every 3 years at Netflix, we have to have a trailer park renaissance, right? Like first, it was literally the Trailer Park Boys. They were our viral moment. Then, like, you know what I mean? We had the Tiger King, right? Then we had there was just another freaking one I just had in my mind and now it's gone. You know, Stephen Avery, Making a Murderer. We had Stephen Avery, Making a Murderer. Every like 2 to 3 years, we get a viral season 1 of a white man from a trailer park in America on Netflix. And I think Christopher Casey needs to be it. Listen, this is my story. This is mine. This is my story, okay? I know TMZ covered it, but taking it to Netflix, I want the IP. I want the IP rights. I'm saying it right now. This will be dated as soon as I upload it. I want the IP. I want the intellectual property rights to make this film. I want Paul and myself and his friends to direct it and produce it. And I want to make the story of the show or the 3-part docuseries about Christopher Casey and how he stabbed his neighbor for snoring in the small Pennsylvania town that consists of a Cracker Barrel and a Jiffy Lube, and that's just about it. And then that's pretty much the township that they live in. And so, you know, I want it. I'm going to Netflix. I'm selling it right now. I want to make the Netflix mini doc for the Christopher Casey snoring, stabbing your neighbor story, because I believe it to be the next viral white male trailer park Netflix docuseries. Yes or yes? Am I right or am I right? You can't tell me Making a Murderer, Tiger King. You can't tell me that every few years it's the same. I want the Christopher Casey story. When they arrived, the cops discovered that Casey's neighbor, Robert Wallace, about 50 feet from the house with 2 knife wounds in his body. Casey also had been stabbed in the right thigh. Police found blood inside and outside the residence. Okay, so Robert Wallace, R.I.P., unfortunately, is the man who was snoring that Casey stabbed. And so only twice, by the way, which I respect, which is another reason why I want to do the Christopher Casey story on Netflix. I want this story and I want the rights. If someone else wants to make it, fine. Just give me 10% of whatever the Netflix check is. Just, you know what I mean? Because he only stabbed him twice. And in all these murder mystery podcasts and like Serial and Wondery and all this, you know, Murder of the Week from 1975. We now have DNA, you know, DJ Freeze. We got the DNA from a cup from a wedding, like crazy. Like we went to church with DJ Freeze. Insane, like kind of murder mystery podcast. They're always stabbed 27, 37, 46 times in the chest. Like someone is always stabbed an aggressive amount for like a human being. Like how do you like stab someone 30 times? 30 times? They were dead after 2. What'd you do the other 28 for? You had, you know? Both men were rushed to a local hospital. Okay, so wait, Robert didn't die on the scene. Robert's still alive. Holy shit, the 2 stabs didn't kill him. Shit, now I gotta take back what I said. He should have stabbed him 28 times, and he would have. I guess. Okay. Both men were rushed to a local hospital where Wallace died and Casey was treated for his non-life-threatening injury to the stab to his thigh. And investigators were able to piece together what Wallace went over to Casey's room that night, stepped onto his porch to detach a screen from one of his windows, of course. And then once he removed the screen, Casey, who was eating dinner, was somehow alerted and confronted by Wallace, getting into the heated argument. During the verbal altercation, Casey produced a military-style knife, plunging the blade into Wallace twice. It was not clear how Casey suffered his wound, but police recovered the knife at the crime of the scene. So he didn't even he didn't even stab him in his sleep. He stabbed him because he knew he wasn't going to get a good night's sleep from all the nights prior. So he went over there not planning to stab him. That, another reason we should give him a docuseries. The intent wasn't originally there, but you know what I mean? One thing led to another. He interrupted his dinner. And I'll tell you what, when Megs and I are downstairs eating dinner, this is no bullshit. When Megs and I are downstairs eating dinner, we're eating and I'm watching Pressure Luck, starring favorite female host Elizabeth Banks. And so if someone came to me with that kind of problem in the middle of my dinner, watching my show, I'd probably get in their face too. I'd probably get up all around them about it because, it's I'm trying to eat. I got 4 tacos on my plate. Elizabeth Banks is on my screen. She looks good this week because of what wardrobe picked out for her. Her hair looks real nice. And people are winning big. We're not getting whammies and it's a good episode. And you're coming in here with problems? You're bringing about my snoring, my sleeping patterns? Shut the fuck up. Get out of my house. And then boom, bam, I'm stabbed twice. And now I'm pissed. And then I die in the hospital. Poor Casey, R.I.P. Perhaps the most stunning element of the story came when detectives learned the motive behind the attack. The neighbors had been involved in an ongoing beef over Casey's loud snoring, which could be heard through a wall shared by their connected homes. Okay, now we've got it all figured out. They've got townhouse just like this. Oh, great. So this could now even more happen to me because I've got neighbors on both sides of me right now. And I know for a fact that where my neighbor's bed beside me is exactly where my bed is. So if the same situation has occurred because they built these townhouses so cheaply back in 2016, I could have my neighbor coming in and, getting into an altercation with me and stabbing me 3 times because he doesn't like my snoring that he can hear through the wall. Damn it, dude. Now I got to put sound panels up in the bedroom or something. More money we got to spend. Great. Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele and Casey said that Casey was arrested Thursday and charged with 3rd-degree murder, voluntary manslaughter, and possession of an instrument of crime for the knife. Casey is currently in custody by being held on a $1 million cash bail. And something tells me he has nowhere close to the $100,000 that he needs to get out on that million if they're letting him out on 10. So it's, wow. So just let that be a lesson to you folks. If, listen, fellas, honestly, listen, if your girl has ever complained about you snoring in the middle of the night, like, babe, you keep waking me up with all your snoring, don't think for a second that doesn't have it in her to just, stab you a few times just so you shut the fuck up for a few hours. You know what I mean? Let alone your next door neighbor. I swear to God, if one of my neighbors ends up stabbing me, I'm suing the shit out of the HOA. That'll be the last straw. The HOA, they somehow have to be responsible. I don't know how I'll spin it, but that'll be the way that I finally get myself disbanded from this stupid HOA. They raised the fee again this year, which is besides the point, but it's fine. Let that be a lesson. Get control of your snoring. If you're asleep on your back, maybe roll over, get a pillow that helps you do that or something. You don't want to get stabbed.